Hello everyone, it's Petko Alexandrov and I continue with the section where I'll be talking about the requirements for chia farming. So you already got the basics of what is chia, what is the chia network, how it works, but now I will practically show you what you need if you are just starting out, and you will see that you really don't need anything expensive. Now we will be talking about the requirements for chia farming, but it's very important to understand that before actual farming we have to create plots, and these plots will be used to validate the blockchain, so we will be getting the rewards. Now to create the plots you can use any machine. It could be a laptop, a MacBook like the one I have in front of me, or a PC. And you will see that I went through all of that. I started farming on my laptop and then I moved to the PC, and you will see why I did that. So first I started using just the laptop with the internal SSD that I had, and after I created a certain amount of plots, I have decided to buy an external hard drive where I can store these plots. So this is the first hard drive that I bought, and it worked really nice. But with the time I've decided to buy more hard drives, so I didn't want to use the internal SSD for plotting, because I learned that the plotting actually does a lot of reading and writing on my internal SSD. So one of the solutions that I found is that SSD enclosure. And inside this box I had this device, which is very easy to use, and as you can see it is small. So if I open it, inside you will see the SSD. So I was able to create the plots outside of my laptop, not using the internal SSD. And after that, the plots are transferred automatically to the hard drives that you have. It could be any hard drive as long as it is bigger than 1 terabyte. And of course, the more hard drives you have, the more rewards you will be winning at the end. But you can use any hard drive. It could be SSD, it could be HDD, and it could be with any size. So you might be wondering why I needed a PC if everything was good using my laptop. This was because I decided to buy more hard drives every month, so I wanted to create the plots faster. And using this external SSD with a USB cable to my laptop was taking me about 10 hours to create one plot. But if you decide to use your laptop with your internal SSD and it is alright for you to spend 10 hours creating one plot to fulfill any hard drive you have, that is absolutely fine. I just wanted to create more plots so I can fill the hard drives faster. And how I decided to start plotting and farming using a PC is, I remember that my parents had a PC in their wardrobe, so I decided to try it out. I had no idea what were the parameters of this desktop computer. All I had to do is to move the SSD and place it on the motherboard, but transferring the plotting to the PC actually lowered my time from 10 hours down to 60 minutes, which is 10 times faster. And this PC is nothing special. It has about 16 GB RAM, 1 terabyte hard drive, and 3.2 gigahertz processor. So the only difference using the PC instead of my laptop was the fact that I was creating the plots 10 times faster. But for the farming itself, it really doesn't matter how fast you are creating the plots. Once the plots are created on the SSD, they are being transferred on the hard drive, and this happens automatically from the Chia software, and then it doesn't really matter what these hard drives will be connected to. All you need is a connection to a computer, laptop, and it requires internet. So to summarize it, you can do the whole thing on any machine you have. It could be a laptop, it could be a computer, PC, doesn't matter. You have to create the plots that later you will be farming on the blockchain. So the thing is, how fast the plots are being created. If you want to create them faster, you will need a better computer, but if you're right spending a few hours on creating a single plot, then you can use a laptop, for example, connecting it with USB to such external SSD enclosure where you can place the SSD inside, and this way you will avoid using your internal SSD. But my personal experience showed me that I better create the plots on a PC where the process is much faster, and then I do the actual farming on the external hard drives, which could be connected really to any device as long as you have the Chia blockchain client installed on that machine and it is connected to the internet, of course. So you can find a lot of information about the requirements for Chia farming, but I decided to share with you my personal story and experience, how I started using my laptop. Then I decided to use an external SSD, putting it in this enclosure, and then because I decided to buy more hard drives, I started plotting on my parents' PC, which made the plotting faster, so I was able to create many plots 10 times faster compared to when I was creating them on the laptop. But what I would suggest you to do if you're just starting out, use anything you have. Even you have just a laptop, start with it, you can create the plots there and you can do the farming in there. And if you decide that it is worthy to buy, for example, more external hard drives, then you can start creating plots on a PC or buy a computer just for that purpose, so you will be able to create the plots faster. It is really a personal choice what machine you will be using. Any machine works well as long as it has more than 2 GB RAM and 1.5 GHz processor. But this is the bare minimum. So the faster the computer is, the faster you will be creating the plots. And keep in mind that it has nothing to do with the farming. Once the plots are created, they are stored on the hard drives where we do the farming. And if your machine is not fast enough to create the plots, you can borrow one from friends or anyone from your family, because simply you need a faster computer just to create the plots. Alright guys, thank you very much for watching this video. If you have any questions, I'll be super happy to answer in the comments below. As well, in the description below you will find a link to the complete Chia farming course where we have showed the entire process step by step. If you have liked the video, I'll be super happy if you support it with a huge like. I thank you for watching and I will see you soon.